The elevator groaned as it climbed to the 10th floor. I leaned against the cold metal wall, loosening my tie. One more day down, I muttered. The project presentation had gone well. Clara would be proud. Maybe she'd finally stop saying I worked too much. When the doors slid open, silence greeted me. No TV, no music, not even the faint humming she usually made while cooking. The air felt wrong, Clara, I called, stepping inside. The house smelled like her perfume, roses and something too sweet. My briefcase slipped from my hand when I saw her purse on the table. Babe, you home? No answer. I moved toward our bedroom, each step heavier than the last. The door was slightly open. Light spilled out through the gap. A sound, soft laughter, then a whisper. My hand froze on the doorknob. I pushed it open. Clara gasped first. Ryan turned, his shirt half-buttoned, her hair tangled in his fingers. My best friend, my wife. My bed. For a second, I couldn't breathe. Everything slowed. My brain refused to process what my eyes saw. Ethan... Clara started, clutching the blanket to her chest. Don't, I said. My voice didn't even sound like mine. Don't say my name, Ryan stepped forward. Man, listen, it's not what it looks like, I laughed. A raw, cracked sound. Oh? Then tell me, Ryan, what does it look like? He looked away. Clara's eyes filled with tears. I can explain, she whispered. Explain? I repeated, stepping closer. You're naked in my bed with my best friend. What's left to explain? She reached for me. Please, Ethan, I didn't mean... I jerked my arm back. Don't touch me, her voice trembled. We didn't plan this, it just... happened. I stared at her. You didn't plan it? So what was this, an accident? You tripped and fell into him. Ryan's jaw tightened. Hey, don't talk to her like that. Don't talk to her like that? My laugh cut through the room like glass. You're defending her now? In my house? Look, man, he said, running a hand through his hair. We didn't want to hurt you. But you did, I said quietly. You took everything good I believed in and burned it. Clara started crying harder. I still love you, Ethan. It just... Stop, I raised my hand. Don't you dare say you love me. You don't cheat on someone you love, she covered her face. I was lonely. You were always working. Don't blame this on me, I snapped. I worked for us, for you. For our future. Ryan stepped closer. We didn't want this to come out like this. Come out? I whispered. You make it sound like a press release. He looked down. Coward. I trusted you, I said, my voice breaking for the first time. You were my brother, Ryan. You were supposed to have my back. I know, he said. I made a mistake. Mistake? I shook my head slowly. A mistake is forgetting an anniversary. Sleeping with my wife is not a mistake. The silence afterward felt like a physical weight pressing on my chest. I could hear the rain beginning outside, faint against the window. Clara tried again, her voice soft, desperate. Can we talk about this? Please, just... Don't walk out like this. I don't think there's anything left to talk about. I picked up my coat from the chair. My hands were trembling. She stood, wrapping the sheet around her. Ethan, please. Why him? I asked suddenly. The words spilled out before I could stop them. Out of everyone, why him? Her lips quivered. He understood me. He listened when you didn't. That hit harder than I expected. I felt my throat close. So, you wanted understanding. You could have asked me. Instead, you chose betrayal. Ryan moved toward me again. Don't blame just her. I was part of it too. I turned to him, eyes burning. You think that makes it better? You ruined both our lives. Congratulations. He swallowed hard. I'm sorry. Sorry? I said softly. You don't even know what that word means. Clara's voice cracked. Ethan, I love you. No, I whispered. You love yourself. You loved the thrill. You loved being wanted, but you never loved me. Her tears fell freely now. Please don't leave like this. I have to, I said, pulling open the bedroom door. Because if I stay, I'll never forgive you. And I'll never forgive myself for letting you. She reached out again, but I stepped back. Ryan didn't move. He just stared at the floor like the coward he was. As I walked through the living room, every memory in that house clawed at me. The photos, the laughter, the plans. Everything now tainted. At the door, I turned once more. They stood there, small and pathetic under the bedroom light. You deserve each other, I said. May your lies keep you warm. Then I stepped out into the hallway. The rain was heavier now, drumming against the windows. I didn't even grab an umbrella. The cold hit me instantly, soaking through my shirt as I walked down the street. Each step felt heavier, but somehow freeing. I didn't cry. I couldn't. The shock was too deep for tears. I kept hearing her voice echoing in my head. He understood me, maybe he did. But I had loved her enough to build a world around her, and she burned it down. As thunder rolled above, I whispered to the night, "You took everything from me, Clara. But someday, I'll take it back." And for the first time that night, I meant it. The sound of the clock became my worst enemy. Every tick reminded me that time kept moving even when I didn't want it to. I hadn't slept properly in weeks. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw them. "Ethan," Mom said one morning, standing in my half-empty apartment, "you can't live like this forever." I stared at the coffee cup in my hands. "I'm doing fine." "You're drinking black coffee and staring at the wall. That's not fine." "I'm working through it," she sighed, "by avoiding it." I rubbed my temples. "What do you want me to say, Mom? That I'm over it? That I forgive them?" "No," she said softly. "But I want you to stop letting their betrayal define you." I looked at her tired eyes, the way they searched mine for a piece of the sun she used to know. "It's not that easy. Nothing worth healing ever is." She touched my shoulder gently. "Forgiveness isn't for them, Ethan. It's for you." Her words hung in the air, heavy but true. After she left, I sat alone, staring at the divorce papers on the table. My name beside hers, Ethan Cross and Clara Cross, soon to be strangers. At work, whispers followed me like shadows. People didn't say it directly, but I caught the looks. "That's him. The guy whose wife cheated with his best friend." In the break room, someone laughed too loudly. "Guess loyalty's not part of the blueprint, huh?" Another voice whispered. I didn't turn around. I just walked out. That evening, I found myself wandering through the city. No destination, just noise. I stopped at a small cafe I used to visit with Clara. The irony made me want to throw up, but I went in anyway. The smell of roasted coffee hit me first. Then I saw her, Isabella Blake, sitting by the window, hands around a cup that had gone cold. For a second, I hesitated. But when she looked up, recognition flashed across her face. "Ethan," she said quietly. "Isabella." My voice cracked. "It's been a while." She gave a hollow laugh. "Yeah, a few months and a lifetime." I sat across from her. Neither of us spoke for a moment. The silence wasn't awkward. It was shared pain. She finally said, "You know, I used to think Ryan was incapable of lying." "Same," I said. "Turns out we both overestimated him," she smiled sadly. "I found out about the affair months before you did." I blinked. "You knew?" "I saw the messages," she said, her voice trembling. "I confronted him, but he said it was just harmless flirting." I wanted to believe him. God, I wanted to believe him. "Why didn't you tell me?" I asked. Her eyes glistened. "Would you have believed me then?" "You loved him like a brother." I let out a bitter laugh. "Maybe not. But it would have hurt less than finding out that way," she nodded. "I know." We both stared at our cups. The sound of rain outside filled the gaps between our words. "I thought I was the only one who couldn't breathe after it happened," she whispered. "You're not," I said. Every night I replay it. Every detail. Like my mind refuses to let me rest. She looked at me then, really looked. "Do you still love her?" The question hit harder than I expected. "I don't know," I admitted. "Maybe I love who I thought she was," she nodded slowly. "That's exactly how I feel about Ryan." Her hands shook slightly as she spoke. I noticed the faint marks where her wedding ring had been. Mine were still there too. "Do you ever want to make them pay?" I asked quietly. Her lips twitched. "Every day. But then I wonder if that would make me any better than them." I leaned back, exhaling. Maybe justice isn't revenge. Maybe it's just surviving, she smiled faintly. "You sound like someone trying to convince himself of that." "Maybe I am." For a moment, we just sat there watching the raindrops race down the glass. I didn't feel anger, just emptiness, and for the first time, it didn't scare me. She broke the silence. "Do you think people like us ever get to start over?" "I hope so," I said. "Because if not, then what's the point?" Her laugh was quiet but real. "You always were the optimist, weren't you?" "I used to be." I paused. Now I'm just trying to remember how. She reached across the table and touched my hand briefly. Maybe we can both try, I nodded. Maybe we can. The waiter came by to refill our cups. I thanked him and turned back to her. So what now? She shrugged. One day at a time. Maybe coffee again sometime? Yeah, I said. Coffee sounds good. When she stood to leave, she hesitated. Ethan, you're not alone, okay? I watched her walk away, her figure blurring through the rainy window. For a long time I sat there, the warmth of her words sinking in slowly. Not alone. It sounded foreign, but possible. I looked at my reflection in the dark window and whispered, maybe this isn't the end. Maybe it's the start of something else. Outside, the rain softened, and for the first time in weeks, I didn't feel trapped inside my own chest. The next few weeks blurred into coffee cups, long silences, and strange comfort. Isabella and I kept meeting at the same corner cafe, same table by the window. Do you ever stop replaying it? She asked one afternoon, stirring her drink. Not really, I said. Some nights I think I've made peace with it. Then I hear a song or smell her perfume and it's back. She gave a hollow smile. For me, it's the sound of keys. Ryan used to whistle every time he came home. Now, when I hear it in a movie, I want to throw something at the screen. I chuckled softly. Maybe we should start a support group. Hoi. Members and unlimited caffeine, she said. Perfect. The laughter felt strange on my lips, like I'd forgotten how to use that part of myself. Between jokes, though, silence always returned, heavy but less suffocating than before. She looked down at her cup. Do you ever miss them? I hesitated. Sometimes. Not them exactly, just the version of them I believed in. She nodded slowly. Yeah, I miss the lie more than the people. I leaned back, studying her face. There was strength behind her sadness, a quiet steadiness that I hadn't noticed before. You're handling it better than I am, I said. She laughed bitterly. You didn't see me the first week. I screamed at walls. I threw plates. Then Nathan walked in and asked if I was sick. I had to tell him it was just heartbreak. Her voice cracked a little when she said his name. Nathan? I asked gently. My son, she said, pulling her phone from her purse. He's 6. She turned the screen toward me, a photo of a small boy with messy blonde hair and the widest grin I'd seen in months. He looks like you, I said. She smiled faintly. Everyone says that. He's the reason I'm still breathing. Kids have a way of keeping us tethered, I said quietly. Would you like to meet him sometime? She asked, uncertain. I hesitated. You sure that's a good idea? Maybe, maybe not, but you could use some light in your life and Nathan has plenty to share. I smiled. Then I'd like that. We met in the park a few days later. The grass was damp from last night's rain. Nathan was chasing a soccer ball, laughing so hard he could barely kick straight. Mom, who's that? He asked when he noticed me. This is my friend Ethan, Isabella said softly. He's good at building things. Nathan grinned. Can you build a robot? Only if you help, I said. He nodded solemnly. Deal! His laughter filled the air as we kicked the ball back and forth. For a moment, I forgot everything, Clara, Ryan, the pain. All I could hear was that pure, innocent joy. Later, when Nathan ran to get ice cream, Isabella turned to me. He likes you. I like him too, I said. He reminds me what happiness looks like. She smiled softly. He hasn't smiled like that since... She didn't finish. She didn't need to. The breeze carried the sound of children's laughter from the playground. For the first time in months, I felt something shift inside me, a crack in the wall I'd built. Thank you, I said. For what? For reminding me that not everything that breaks stays broken. Her eyes glistened, but she smiled. You're not as lost as you think, Ethan. That night, I got a text from an unknown number. Ryan, we need to talk. I stared at the message until the screen dimmed. The next day, another text came. Ryan, you can hate me all you want, but I deserve a chance to explain. Explain what? That it wasn't love, just betrayal wrapped in excuses? I deleted the message. Later at the cafe, Isabella noticed my silence. Something wrong? Ryan messaged me, I said, her brow furrowed. What did he say? That he wants to talk. Are you going to? No, I looked out the window. There's nothing left to say, she sipped her coffee. You sure? Positive. Talking to him won't fix anything. It'll just reopen wounds that are finally starting to close. She nodded slowly. Then don't. Sometimes silence says everything. We sat in quiet understanding. After a while, she said, "You know what's funny? I used to think strength meant holding everything in. Now I think it's just choosing not to collapse in front of the wrong people." I smiled faintly. Then maybe we're both getting stronger. Maybe we are, she said. Nathan's laughter from the park echoed in my memory as I watched her smile. I realized I hadn't thought about Clara in hours. As we stood to leave, Isabella touched my arm lightly. "Thank you for today," I met her gaze. "No, thank you for giving me something real again." She smiled, soft and sincere. "See you soon, Ethan." When she walked away, I caught my reflection in the cafe window. My face still looked tired, but my eyes weren't empty anymore. Maybe healing didn't come in waves. Maybe it came in small, unexpected moments, like coffee, laughter, and the smile of a child who believed in building robots. And for the first time, I believed in building something again, too. I didn't find out from them. I found out from the internet. Ryan Cooper and Clara Adams announced their engagement, the article said. Their smiling faces splashed across a corporate magazine's homepage. My stomach twisted like I'd swallowed poison. At first, I laughed. Then I hurled my phone across the room. The sound echoed through my apartment before silence swallowed everything. A message pinged on my laptop. Isabella. Isabella. You saw it too, didn't you? I called her. Engaged, I said. Just months after everything. Her sigh trembled. He proposed at his firm's annual gala, publicly. My friend sent me the video. Of course he did, I said bitterly. Ryan never did anything unless there was a spotlight. Clara looked. Happy, she murmured. Happy? I laughed, sharp and humorless. She's wearing my smile, Isabella. The one I taught her to fake when things fell apart. Silence lingered between us before she said softly, We can't let them keep winning. That sentence hit like a spark in a room filled with gasoline. I exhaled slowly. No, we can't. That night I didn't sleep. I sat by the window, city lights flickering like ghosts of every promise they'd broken. The rage burned differently now, steady, not explosive. I wasn't going to destroy them out of madness. I'd do it with precision. The next morning at work, I walked into Jordan's office. He looked up. Ethan, you look like hell. Feels about right, I said. I need your help. With what? Starting over. From the ground up, he frowned. You're serious? Dead serious. They took my firm, my clients, my reputation. I'm taking it all back. Jordan leaned back, crossing his arms. You've got the fire again. I haven't seen that in months. It's not fire, I said. It's focus, he nodded slowly. Then let's rebuild. But we'll do it right this time. No shortcuts, no trust without proof. Exactly. We started meeting after hours, reviewing contacts, drafting proposals, and planning new partnerships. Every late night felt like reclaiming a piece of myself. A week later, I met Isabella at our usual cafe. She looked sharper now, hair tied back, eyes clear. I did some digging, she said, sliding a folder toward me. Ryan's been moving company funds into a dummy account. He's been doing it for at least 8 months, I blinked. You're kidding, she shook her head. I found the trail. Hidden under marketing expenses. I just need solid proof. Can you get it? She hesitated. Not alone. But with someone on the inside, maybe, I leaned forward. What do you need me to do? Access his shared drives, she said. You still have admin credentials from when you worked with him, right? I nodded slowly. He never revoked them. Probably thought I wouldn't dare use them. Then let's dare, she said quietly. I stared at her for a moment. You realize if this goes wrong, it's career suicide for both of us. She met my gaze. They already took everything from us, Ethan. What's left to lose? Her words silenced every doubt. That night, I logged in. The files were still there. Expense sheets, contracts, transaction reports. It took hours, but when I saw the pattern, it all clicked. Ryan had been siphoning money through side projects, disguising them as vendor payments. I called Isabella immediately. You were right. He's stealing from the firm. She exhaled in disbelief. I knew it. Can you send copies? Already done. But we can't go public yet. We need to tie it directly to him, not his assistants. She was quiet for a moment. You're not just getting revenge, are you? No, I said. I'm taking back my dignity. You should too. Her voice softened. You sound different. I feel different, I said. For months I was drowning in anger. Now I'm swimming through it. The next few days blurred into strategy. Jordan and I secured 2 new contracts from clients who'd left with Ryan. Word spread that I was building something stronger. The old whispers of pity turned into curiosity. One evening, Jordan clapped me on the shoulder. You're back, man. You really are. Not yet, I said, but there was a small smile on my face. Later, Isabella called again. I got more files. One of the vendors is fake, set up by Ryan himself. The address leads to a P.O. box registered under his cousin's name. I whistled. He's bold. He's careless, she corrected. I'm going to leak this to the board anonymously. I hesitated. You sure you're ready for that? Yes, she said firmly. He's hurt too many people. It's time he felt the consequences. I admired her courage. You've changed, I said. So have you, she replied. Maybe pain doesn't just destroy, it forges. After the call, I poured a drink and looked out over the city. For the first time since the betrayal, I didn't feel like a victim. I felt like a man who'd survived fire and was finally learning to shape it. Ryan texted again that night. Ryan, heard you're starting something new. Let's talk before you make a mistake, I smiled grimly. Too late for that, Ryan. The next morning, my inbox exploded. News of an internal audit at his firm spread fast. Anonymous reports of embezzlement, financial irregularities, and hidden accounts. Jordan stormed into my office, grinning. You have anything to do with this? I shrugged. Karma works fast when you give it a little push, he laughed. Remind me never to get on your bad side. Don't worry, I said. You're one of the few still standing on the right side. Later, I met Isabella again. She looked lighter somehow. He's suspended pending investigation, she said. I nodded. Justice feels heavier than I thought. Because it's real, she said quietly. And real things always have weight. I stared into my coffee. Then maybe it's time to carry it properly, she smiled. Together? Together, I said. And for the first time since everything fell apart, I didn't just want revenge. I wanted redemption. When the rumors began, I didn't even have to search for them. They found me. Did you hear about Ryan Cooper? A colleague whispered as I walked past the break room. Audit confirmed theft. The board's furious. I pretended not to hear, but inside something dark and satisfied stirred. Later that day, Jordan leaned on my office door. He's finished, Ethan. They froze his accounts. I nodded slowly. Already? Quicker than expected, he said. Word is, Clara's been asking about the money. Guess he never told her where it came from. I smiled faintly. Of course not. He only told the truth when it served him. That night, I sat alone, scrolling through social media. Photos of Clara's new house, designer bags, her perfect life. Then came the comments, people asking about unpaid suppliers, rumors about Ryan's suspension. Her silence was louder than words. A message blinked on my screen. Isabella, Isabella. You've seen the news? I typed back. Every headline. It's starting, she replied a moment later. Does it feel good? I hesitated before calling her. I don't know if good is the right word, I said when she answered. It feels heavy. Guilt? She asked quietly. Maybe. I wanted this. I wanted him to lose everything. But now that it's happening, I trailed off. You don't feel healed, she finished for me. No, I said softly. Just empty in a different way, she sighed. Revenge isn't medicine, Ethan. It's poison with a delay. I laughed dryly. You're starting to sound like my mother. Then she's smart, Isabella said gently. Maybe, I admitted. She always said forgiveness isn't for them, it's for me. But I can't seem to find it. You don't have to yet, she said. You just have to stop letting hate define you. Her words lingered long after we ended the call. The next afternoon, I stopped by her place to drop off some documents. Nathan opened the door. Hi, Mr. Ethan, he chirped, his little hands sticky with chocolate. Hey, champ, I said, smiling despite myself. What's that on your face? He giggled. Mom made brownies. I helped. From the kitchen, Isabella laughed. He helped by eating half the batter. Nathan grinned proudly. It was good. I knelt down. You remind me of myself when I was your age. How? He asked. I believed everything could be fixed, I said softly. He blinked. Can it? I looked at him, unsure how to answer. Maybe some things can. Isabella joined us, handing me a coffee. You look tired, she said. I've been watching Ryan's world fall apart, I admitted. It's strange. I thought I'd feel triumphant. Instead, I just feel small. She leaned against the counter. Because you're realizing he doesn't deserve that much space in your mind anymore. I thought revenge would bring peace, I said. But peace doesn't come from someone else's misery, does it? No, she said softly. It comes when you stop waiting for it to come from them. I looked at her for a long time. You sound like someone who's already found it, she smiled faintly. Not found. Still searching. There was a warmth between us that neither of us dared to name. Her presence felt safe, familiar, unspoken. As I left, Nathan ran to the door. Will you come again, Mr. Ethan? Yeah, I said, smiling. I will. When I got home, I poured a drink but couldn't bring myself to take a sip. The satisfaction I'd been chasing felt hollow now, like chasing smoke. The next morning, Jordan called. You won't believe this, he said. Ryan's company just dropped 2 major investors. They're suing him for breach of trust. I rubbed my temples. It's happening fast. Yeah, Jordan said. You should be celebrating. I should, I said. But it feels wrong to cheer when someone else is burning. He paused. He deserves it, Ethan. Don't forget what he did. I haven't, I said. That's the problem. Later that evening, I scrolled past a photo of Clara leaving a hotel alone. The comments were brutal. People accusing her of lying, cheating, using him for money. I should have felt vindicated. Instead, all I saw was 2 broken people drowning in the consequences of their choices. My phone rang again. Isabella, are you okay? She asked. I should be, I said. They're finally getting what they deserve. But you don't sound happy. I thought revenge was justice, I said quietly. Now I'm not sure I even know the difference. She was silent for a moment. Maybe justice is when the truth stands. Revenge is when we stand over the ruins, I let out a shaky laugh. You always know what to say, don't you? No, she said softly. I just know what not to hold on to anymore. Her words lingered in the silence between us. Thank you, I said finally. For what? For reminding me that I'm still human, I whispered. When the call ended, I sat in the dark, thinking about Nathan's question. Can't everything be fixed? Maybe not everything, but maybe I could start with myself. The news broke on a Tuesday morning. Former CEO Ryan Cooper arrested for corporate fraud, the headline read. Beneath it, his photo, handcuffed, expression hollow, surrounded by flashing cameras. I stared at the screen for a long time, coffee cooling in my hand. Jordan burst into my office. It's over. They caught him. I said quietly. He's finished, Ethan. They found offshore accounts, fake invoices, everything. You should be celebrating, I looked up. Why? The damage was done long ago. Jordan frowned. You mean Clara? I didn't answer, he sighed. You got what you wanted, man. Don't tell me it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel like anything, I said. Just quiet. He hesitated before nodding. Then maybe that's peace. When he left, I opened another tab. Videos of Ryan's arrest filled my feed. Reporters shouting, police escorting him away. His face pale and defeated. Then came the photos of Clara. Standing outside a luxury condo, her makeup smeared, arguing with someone off camera. The comments were merciless. Gold digger, karma. She got what she deserved. I should have smiled, but I didn't. That evening, as I was locking up my office, my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost ignored it, but something made me answer. Ethan, a trembling voice said. It took me a second to recognize it. Clara, please, she whispered. I need to see you. Why? Because I have no one else. I closed my eyes. You had me once. I know, she said, voice breaking. Please, just talk to me. Against my better judgment, I agreed to meet. Maybe I needed to see what was left of the woman who burned everything I was. We met at the same cafe where I'd met Isabella months ago. The irony wasn't lost on me. Clara was already there, sitting in the corner. Her hair was messy, her eyes red. The confidence that once wrapped around her like perfume was gone. Ethan, she said as I sat down, thank you for coming. I shouldn't have, I said. She flinched. I deserve that. What do you want? She looked at her hands. Everything's gone. The house, the money, the job offers. No one will even talk to me. They think I knew about his crimes. Did you? I asked. Her eyes darted away. I didn't know everything. Just enough to enjoy it, I said coldly. Tears welled up. You think I don't regret it? You think I wanted this? I think you wanted more than what we had, I said. And you got it. For a while. She shook her head, crying openly now. I was stupid. Ryan promised me everything. Said he'd build a life better than ours. But he lied. About everything. Now you know how it feels, I said. I'm sorry, she whispered. I know it doesn't matter, but I am. I leaned back. It mattered once. Not anymore. She reached across the table, grabbing my hand. Please, Ethan, I don't have anyone. You were always kind, please. Just help me. I looked at her hand. The same hand that had once worn my wedding ring. Now it trembled, desperate. Help you how? I asked. I can't find work, she said. The press ruined me. If you could talk to someone, just vouch for me. I pulled my hand back. You want me to save you from the fire you started? Her lips quivered. I just need a chance. You had every chance, I said. And you threw them away for a man who couldn't tell truth from greed. She buried her face in her palms. I made a mistake. No, I said softly. You made a choice. She looked up at me, eyes red and wet. You hate me? I don't, I said truthfully. I don't feel anything at all. That silence hung between us like a wall. Finally, she whispered, Do you ever think about what we had? I met her gaze. Only when I need to remember what lies can look like when they smile, she winced. You've changed. I had to, I said. Surviving requires it. Her tears fell harder now. You really won't help me? I stood up. No, Clara. The man who would have helped you died the night you betrayed him. She sobbed quietly. Then what am I supposed to do? Live, I said. The same way I had to. She looked small, smaller than I remembered. When I turned to leave, she whispered my name again, but I didn't stop. Outside, the air was cold and sharp. The rain had started just like that first night months ago, but this time it didn't sting. It felt clean. I walked to my car, my reflection blurred in the wet pavement. For the first time, I realized I didn't hate her or Ryan or the past. I just didn't need it anymore. When I got home, I found a message from Isabella waiting. Isabella. I saw the news. Are you okay? I typed slowly. I think I am, she replied almost instantly. Good. You deserve peace now? I smiled faintly. Maybe peace isn't something you find. Maybe it's what's left when you stop chasing pain. She sent a single heart emoji, simple but warm. I sat back, watching the city lights through the window. Ryan had fallen, Clara had broken, and the ghosts of my old life had finally gone quiet. There was no applause, no triumph, just silence. And in that silence, I finally heard myself breathe again. It's strange how silence changes meaning over time. Once it used to be heavy, now it's peace. I heard laughter from the garden. Nathan's. His tiny voice carried through the open window like music. Uncle Ethan, look what I built! I stepped outside, grinning. A fortress? Or a trap? He puffed out his chest. A spaceship. Mommy says you can come too, if you don't mind flying. I crouched beside him. I've always wanted to see the stars. Isabella was watering the plants, the afternoon light soft on her face. She smiled at me, that calm, grounding smile that always seemed to quiet the noise in my head. You're spoiling him, she said. I'm encouraging creativity, I countered. Nathan looked between us. That means yes? I laughed. Yes, he whooped, running off to add more cardboard wings. When he was out of earshot, Isabella said quietly, He really adores you. I looked at her. The feeling's mutual. She hesitated, then asked, Does it ever feel strange, being here after everything? Every day, I admitted. But it's a good kind of strange, the kind that doesn't hurt. We went inside when the sun dipped lower. The smell of dinner filled the kitchen, roasted vegetables, something warm and comforting. As she stirred the pot, I leaned against the counter. You cook like you're healing something, I said. She smiled faintly. Maybe I am, I hesitated. Isabella, do you ever worry it's all temporary? That peace doesn't last? She looked up. All the time. But I've learned peace isn't about what stays. It's about what you choose to keep when everything else goes. I nodded, taking that in. You always make it sound simple. It's not simple, she said softly. It's just honest. We ate at the small wooden table. Nathan talked the whole time about school, spaceships, and how he thought clouds were giant pillows God forgot to clean. When he went to bed, I helped her with the dishes. The quiet felt natural now, not awkward. Do you miss him? She asked suddenly. Ryan? I said, No, he's just a lesson now, she nodded slowly. Clara called me once months ago. She asked if I'd seen you. I froze. What did you tell her? That you were doing fine, she said, and that she should stop looking backward. Thank you, I said quietly. She sounded lost, Isabella added. But not sorry enough. She never was, I said. Not really. We finished the dishes and I sat on the couch. Isabella joined me, tucking her legs under her. You're quieter tonight, she said. Just thinking, I replied. About what? How easy it is to forget what love is supposed to feel like. She tilted her head. And what's it supposed to feel like? I thought for a moment. Like breathing after holding your breath too long, she smiled. Then maybe you can finally exhale. I looked at her, the way she met my eyes without fear, without demand. You make it sound easy. It's not, she said. But we both know how hard the wrong kind of love can be. I chuckled. Yeah, it almost broke me. And yet, you're still here, she said gently. I'm here because you showed me it's okay to start over, I said. You didn't fix me, Isabella. You just gave me space to fix myself. She looked away, her cheeks faintly pink. That's all any of us need. Space to heal. I reached for her hand, slow, hesitant. She didn't pull away. Can I be honest? I asked, always. I'm scared, I said. Every time I feel happy, I keep waiting for it to vanish. Like it's borrowed time. She squeezed my hand. It's not borrowed, Ethan, it's earned. I swallowed hard. You really believe that? I do, she said. Because I see it in you. The man who could have turned bitter but didn't. I looked down. You give me too much credit, she smiled. No. I think you just never learned how to stop caring, even when it hurt. Her words hit deeper than I expected. Caring almost ruined me. Or maybe, she said softly, it's what saved you. I didn't know what to say after that. So we sat there, hands still joined, the kind of silence that didn't need filling. Later, when I got up to leave, Nathan's voice called from his room. Uncle Ethan? I stepped inside. Yeah, buddy? He sat up, rubbing his eyes. Are you gonna marry Mommy? I froze, half smiling. Why do you ask? Because you make her smile like the sun, he said sleepily. And she makes you smile like that, too. I chuckled, brushing his hair back. That's a pretty good reason, huh? He nodded, already half asleep. You should, then, I whispered. Maybe someday. When I came back to the living room, Isabella was leaning on the doorway, smiling. You heard that? I asked, every word, she said, laughing softly. He's very direct. He gets that from you, I said. She looked at me for a long moment. Would it scare you, the idea of love again? Terrify me, I admitted. But I'm starting to think fear isn't a reason to stop. She stepped closer. Then maybe don't stop. We stood there, not as two broken people holding on to pain, but as two souls learning to breathe again. I don't know what this is yet, I said quietly. Then let's not name it. She whispered. Let's just live it, I nodded. One day at a time, she smiled. That's all love ever really is. Outside, the rain had stopped. The air smelled like renewal, clean, gentle, full of promise. For the first time in years, I didn't look back. I didn't measure happiness by what I'd lost, but by what I was slowly finding, honesty, peace, and something that finally felt like home. When I closed my eyes that night, I realized love hadn't returned all at once. It had crept in quietly, like sunlight after a long, cold storm, and I finally let it stay. The years have a strange way of softening the sharpest memories. Sometimes I wonder if I really lived through that storm, or if it was someone else, someone I used to be. Now, the mornings are quiet, peaceful, the kind where the only sounds are birds and the soft laughter of a child in the yard. Dad, look how high I can swing! Nathan's voice breaks through the calm. I step outside, smiling. Not too high, champ. I don't want to explain to your mother how you reached orbit. He giggles, pumping his legs harder. Mom says I can touch the clouds if I believe hard enough. Then believe smaller, I laugh. From the porch, Isabella calls out, Ethan, let him dream. It's free, I grin back at her. Dreaming, yes. Hospital visits, no, she laughs, shaking her head. And I swear I still fall for her every time she does. We named this place Haven, a small house with white walls, blue shutters, and a garden Nathan insists belongs to his secret missions. I built most of it myself. Every nail, every brush stroke felt like reclaiming a piece of my soul. Sometimes at night, I sit by the window and watch the wind move through the trees. It reminds me of how far I've come, from ashes to peace. Isabella joins me one evening, resting her head on my shoulder. You're quiet tonight, she says. Just thinking, I reply. Dangerous habit, she teases. What about? How it started, I say. How it all burned down before it began again. She hums softly. Fire destroys, but it also purifies, I nod. Maybe I needed both. She lifts her head, looking at me. Do you regret any of it? Regret? I pause. No, pain taught me things peace never could. I wouldn't trade the man I am now for the man I was then. She smiles. Then maybe we both survived for this. Maybe, I whisper, kissing her forehead. Time blurs after that. Days turn to months, months to years. Nathan grows. Taller, bolder, kinder. He calls me Dad without hesitation now. The first time he did, I couldn't speak for minutes. One afternoon, while fixing the garden fence, Isabella comes out holding a letter. Someone left this at the gate, she says. I wipe the sweat from my brow. Who's it from? She hesitates. Clara. My stomach tightens at the name, not with anger, just a distant ache. What does she want? I ask quietly. She says she'd like to see you, Isabella says softly. Just once, I stare at the horizon. After all these years? She didn't say why. I take the letter, reading the shaky handwriting. The words are simple. I need to talk, please, one last time. I fold it carefully. I'll go, Isabella studies my face. Are you sure? I need to, I say. Not for her, for me. The cafe where we agree to meet is quiet, tucked away on a corner of the old city. I sit by the window watching the rain blur the glass. Then I see her. Clara. She looks smaller than I remember. Older. Weary. Her confidence replaced by something fragile. When she spots me, her lips tremble into a faint, uncertain smile. Ethan, she says, sitting down. You look different. I reply. It's been years. Yes, she murmurs. Years I spent wondering what I threw away. I lean back. You didn't throw me away, Clara. You threw yourself away. She flinches. I deserve that. I don't answer. The silence stretches between us. Once it would have burned. Now it just breathes. I heard about your life, she says. You rebuilt everything. You even got married. Yes, her eyes glisten.
To her?
To Isabella, I say. We have a son now, her voice cracks. You got everything I wanted, I smile softly. No, Clara, I got everything I needed. Tears fill her eyes. I thought love was supposed to be perfect. I kept chasing that, perfection. But it never came. It doesn't, I say. Love isn't about perfection. It's about forgiveness. Of the other person and of yourself. She nods weakly. And have you forgiven me? I look out the window for a moment, watching the rain slow to a drizzle. Then I turn back to her. Yes, I say simply. Her breath catches. After everything? Because of everything, I reply. If I hadn't broken, I never would have rebuilt. I would have stayed the man who thought happiness came from someone else. A tear slips down her cheek. I'm sorry, Ethan, for everything. I know, I say. And I hope you find peace too. She stands, clutching her purse like a lifeline. Goodbye then. Goodbye, I whisper. As she walks away, I feel no hatred, no regret, just stillness. When I return home, Isabella is in the garden, helping Nathan plant something new. How did it go? She asks when she sees me. It's over, I say. All of it. She studies me for a moment. Do you feel lighter? I exhale. Like I finally put down a weight I didn't know I was still carrying. Nathan runs up, holding a tiny sprout in his palm. Look, Dad, we're growing a tree. I kneel down. What kind of tree? He shrugs. Doesn't matter, right? It'll grow into whatever it wants. I smile. Yeah, it will. That night, after Nathan's asleep, Isabella and I sit on the porch. The moon spills silver light across the grass, soft and endless. She rests her head against me. You're really free now, aren't you? For the first time, I say. I don't wake up angry. I don't count the scars anymore. She takes my hand. You've come so far. So have you, I say. You showed me what love looks like when it's honest, when it doesn't ask for anything back. She smiles gently. That's what love's supposed to be. I look at our home, the windows glowing warm, the garden full of life. Haven, I whisper. It really is one, she squeezes my hand. Built from fire, she says. I nod. And reborn from it. For a long time, we sit there in silence, listening to the wind move through the trees. The same sound that once haunted me now feels like a lullaby. Nathan stirs in his room, mumbling something about stars. I smile. The child who once reminded me of innocence now reminds me of hope. I glance up at the sky, endless, forgiving, alive. Once betrayal defined me. Now forgiveness does. Pain taught me strength. Love taught me peace, and when the night deepens and the crickets begin their song, I whisper the words that finally feel true. I'm home.